So my wife and I decided to do some vinyl flooring in one of our rooms. We went ahead and chose the Tranquility flooring. It's like I said, it's a vinyl flooring, and we have our pattern picked out. And I just want to give you a few tips and tricks on what we've learned, because it's kind of tough to put down. It's not as easy as some people say it is. So let's take a look at some things that we've learned and give you some ideas. One of the things you can do when trying to cut this vinyl is go ahead and just score it. I've already measured what I'm going to be doing here, but go ahead and score it, and then we'll snap it. Another thing to note is we started at the other end and we're coming in this direction. So what you want is you want this larger edge facing the wall. Another tip, we went ahead and put some paint sticks alongside the wall to give us the gap that we need. They say about a 1/4 inch gap, but I ended up putting about an 1/8 inch gap just to give a little bit of room for expansion. Doing this end piece, you can see this is going to slip in just like this. Not a lot of room, I'm hitting back here, but we'll get it slipped in, push it in. And what we want to do is we're going to line up and make sure this is really square. That's one thing we learned. You want to make sure this is all very, very square when putting it in. I'm going to be pushing this in this direction and then laying it down. They say that you'll hear a snap. I've never really heard a snap per se when putting it in like this or putting it in like this, but just make sure it's nice and square. So this is a pretty tricky part here. Basically you need to get this edge into here and this whole line, this edge, into here. What we've learned is you can kind of flip the front, this edge right here, in first and then lift it up and get it up underneath, and it should snap in. Now it's starting to go in, but now I need to tap it both this direction and this direction. Now it's not getting in, there's a gap there. So pull back out, get this edge in, so now I have this edge in. I'm going to use my trusty hammer. This has a sock on it to protect it. And number two, the most important thing is you take an extra piece here of vinyl and it's just cut down, it's just a scrap. And we're going to go ahead and put it in here and then we'll tap on it. And that should tap it in. You may have to go up underneath and lift this in and push this down so that it can get in. There it goes. Now I'm going to take my scrap piece and start going in this direction and tapping it in. Let's take a look at this from another angle. As you can see the gap, as I tap this in, it should be closing up. Kind of lift it up, push it in. So I'm just having to manhandle this a little bit. Now this gap is starting to close up. You can see it's still at an angle. We'll push it down here in a second. All right, let's push it down. And although it still looks a little bit flexed, we can take our scrap piece here. As we tap on it, it should seat it. There it goes. That gap just went away. So hopefully this tidbit of information will help you guys with installing your Tranquility floor.